Plus Weekly's watching this one tonight. Here's Jane Daniels on the run. And going down the sideline. Caught by Brian Thomas Jr. And he will take it to the house. 86-yard touchdown from Daniels to Thomas.
Hello and welcome to the Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined as always by the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji, here from Old School Barbecue. It's Halloween today. We tape here October 31st, a Tuesday, so happy Halloween. You will see this episode on a Wednesday evening, so hope everybody was safe out there trick-or-treating. A little cold out here, Bud Man, but it is Halloween, right in the middle of the LSU football season, of course. Bye week this past week after they defeated Army 62-0 at home, and of course that means coming off a bye week, it is Alabama week. LSU will travel to Tuscaloosa to face a very talented Crimson Tide team, a team that didn't know who was going to be their quarterback in the beginning of the season, but they stuck with Milroe. He has progressed each game. He can throw the ball all over the field, and he's definitely a threat with his legs. LSU will also be out with a number of players on defense, including three defensive backs and Mekhi Wingo, the number 18. So a tall task for Coach Brian Kelly's team, Bud Man. It might get into a shootout in Tuscaloosa. Good thing for the Tigers. They're the number one offense in the league.
Good to see you. Happy Halloween to everybody. By the way, happy birthday to Dale Brown. He turns 88 today. Nick Saban turns either 72 or 73. You know, those guys have the same birthday on Halloween. We are taping on Halloween. And once again, it is right there in LSU's lap and Alabama's lap. Same thing as last year, of course, except that LSU had not had the one loss previous to this game. They had gotten beat by Florida State. Once again, as we know, Tigers and at Alabama. JP, this is probably the smallest spread I have seen LSU at Alabama in a long time. Folks, 18 of the last 23 times LSU and Alabama played, they've both been in the top 25. And, of course, I'm superstitious. You know that. You know what they're ranked this week, LSU?
13.
13, Bama at 8. Look, Nick Saban, a couple of interesting storylines here. Tommy Rees is the offensive coordinator at Alabama. He played for Brian Kelly. Also was his offensive coordinator. Coach Kelly tried to bring him over here. He said, no, I'm going to stay at Notre Dame. Stayed 1 year with Marcus Freeman. And as we know, then went over and made the jump. That's a great career move for him to learn all of the nuances. Got to learn how to pay those players under the table, side the table, on top of the player. Nick can teach him all of that. But that relationship with BK and Tommy Rees, and how about this one? Pete Jenkins, who Nick has worked with numerous times at LSU, at Alabama, at camps and all that. So who has the advantage? Well, you're going to line up and play, and as JP said, LSU, and you guys, ladies, kids, fans, you understand Tigers are going to have to outscore Alabama to get the W. And I've got both teams, JP, probably getting in the 30s in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, Bud, man. Without Zy Alexander, without Denver Harris, Deuce Chestnut, it's going to be up to some young guys. Coach Brian Kelly kind of singled out a few freshmen in Stamps and Toviano and Hughes and guys that are going to have to step up. It's a next man up mentality. But, Bud, man, is LSU's offense good enough to score enough points on Bama in order to keep up with what you figure Alabama's going to be able to score the ball on LSU, especially with the deficiencies on the back end, a lot of young guys. Can they score enough points?
Zy Alexander, boy, what a freakish thing. Army had one last play at the end of the half. Quarterback had a limp noodle arm and unfortunately didn't get it into the end zone, about 10 yards short. Zy Alexander intercepts it. That's when you wish he would have laid down. But look, we know it happens so fast your brain's not going to tell you catch it and lay down. So he's running it back and got hurt. Does seem to be a serious injury. He's out this week. Some people think he may be out till the end of the regular season. We'll see how that works out. Mekhi Wingo has been listed hurt the last couple of weeks. They played him hurt for a couple of weeks. He had surgery. He is out for the year. Now, he may come back for the bowl game, but he's not had a great year. You mentioned Denver Harris and Deuce Chestnut. What have they done? I'll tell you what they've done. They've had two big dog houses that they've been sleeping in.
Yep.
So they have done some things not to be. They're on the roster, they're on scholarship, but they're in timeout right now in the doghouse. And so with Alexander out, now you've got Sage Ryan, who's going to be one corner. Ashton Stamps is a freshman who played well earlier but got hurt. He's coming back. Jeremiah Hughes is the kid who took the place of Isaiah Alexander. Javian Toviano, one of my favorite recruits in this class, but he's more of a safety. He's going to have to play some corner. And LaTerrence Welsh, who did not help his cause when the way he played against Ole Miss. So LSU cornerback by committee. So this is why we're saying, oh, by the way, I'm happy. Jordan Jefferson, Parrish Shan, and Braden Swinson are going to have to play more. And those are three transfer portal guys on the D-line that have done a good job. Yeah. And I expect 99 to have a big game Saturday night. Jordan Jefferson, not the quarterback, but the D-lineman from West Virginia.
A lot to get to on this episode of Tigers Roar, so let's go ahead and take our first break of the evening. Come back and join us. You're watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Very few vehicles develop a community of ownership like the Mazda Miata. But why? Well, maybe it's because Mazda's been building the Roadster for over 25 years and there's never been a bad one. Or maybe it's because the Mazda Miata's been universally praised since its inception as one of the most fun cars to drive for the money. If you're looking for fun, affordability, and reliability, come see our Mazda Miata selection today and experience for yourself why Miata is always the answer. At Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Look up to the skies as soon as I
we continue here on Tigers Roar. Buddy Sanji, Jonathan Poche here from Old School Barbecue. Don't forget, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. All the Tigers Roars are archived right there for your viewing pleasure. While you're at our page, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the notification button so you're notified every time we drop something new here on Pelican Sports TV. Talking LSU football coming off a bye week. Before that, they hosted Army for the first time ever in Tiger Stadium. 62-0 was the final. We do have some highlights from that game. We'll ask Katie in the truck to go ahead and roll those. We'll continue the conversation. But, man, Jaden Daniels had some playing time. Nussmeier also got some playing time. Both quarterbacks look pretty good.
Yeah, best thing of the game to me was getting those guys that have been working their tails off to a chance to play. And, of course, we started off once again. Right there is Chris Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
Look for Chris Hilton to catch a long pass this weekend against Bama. And, once again, getting into the end zone with Logan Diggs.
Jaden Daniels, 11 for 15, 279 yards. Did have 3 touchdowns through the air. Had 5 rushes for 6 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Garrett Nussmeier, 7 for 12, 89 yards. Also a touchdown through the air. I thought Neighbors and Thomas both were so efficient, but, man, over 120 yards. Brian Thomas only had 3 catches. Neighbors had 4, but both had 2 touchdowns. Did an excellent job making the most of their opportunities.
Greg Penn with a sack there. Here's an incredible run, pass on the run, perfect trajectory. And there's, once again, Brian Thomas Jr. leads the country with 11 touchdown receptions. Malik Neighbors leads the country almost 1,000 yards receiving. Those 2 guys are going to be phenomenal. Hopefully they can get them the football against Bama.
But, man, you mentioned the guys that don't usually get a chance to play and got a lot of opportunities this game. Speaking of the running back room, Trey Holly, 6 rushes, 91 yards and a touchdown. Noah Kane finally gets some action, 7 rushes, 40 yards and a touchdown. Logan Diggs, he had 6 rushes, 26 yards and a TD. And it was very efficient all game, but, man, you hate to lose somebody like Alexander in a game like this where it's absolutely a blowout, but definitely worked out on offense. Everybody really caught the ball that was supposed to catch it. Had a few opportunities. Touchdown right there from Brian Thomas Jr. And the defense was also clicking, bud, man. Aggressive to the football. Here's a great play by Agofu with a strip and a recovery with a tackle for loss.
Well, the only problem is you're talking about 2 bad offenses in Auburn and Army. Army with their 2nd consecutive shutout. Earlier on, you saw Andre Sam with an INT. And here, once again, boy, that guy is fast. Oh, yeah, by the way, just a phenomenal duo of catching and running after the catch. And as we know, went back. The only question I have here, John Emery got down to the half-yard line. That's adding stats. That's padding the stats to get him a rushing touchdown.
Yep.
But once again, J.D., incredible, folks, with his touchdown to INT ratio. And here's a little bit of field goal to add on.
Well, this was the 5th game of the year that Jaden Daniels went for at least 4 touchdowns. So you mentioned it, but, man, you get him close, you get him that 4th score. Defense showing out right here.
Swinson with a nice TFL.
Yeah, and right now, but, man, 31-0, just trying to get some things moving on offense. Great look down the seam right there, Malik Neighbors. He's done it all season, but great celebration on a touchdown. Tigers knew it was in hand by now, and this one some of the backups start coming in, bud, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And look, those guys right here, unfortunately, is the noodle throw. Watch Alexander, and if you watch this, he does not try to put any weight on there. They'll probably pan to it, and you can tell he is seriously hurt. Could be out for the rest of the regular season. We'll see if that plays out.
Yeah, DB is not used to getting tackled, especially not used to getting tackled from behind, but, man, had an awkward movement right there from the lower half. There's your boy right there, Jordan Jefferson, did a great job for the Tigers, big number 99. He's going to have to step up and play big with the absence of Mekhi Wingo.
Jordan Jefferson, 99. Paris Shan, 94. Obviously, Mason Smith, 0. Once again, another great pass. This one from Nussmeier to Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors, 4 catches, 121 yards. Did have the 2 touchdowns. And I thought the defense just played soundly, but, man, didn't blow assignments. Here's an Andre Sam's 2nd interception. I believe, remember correctly, that the PFF stats for college had him the highest ranked defensive back in the nation for this past week, the week before the bye. Damian Ramos was 2 for 2 on the day, 35 and 32 yards out. He was good on both. Always good to see 34 accurate with his kicks.
And then this ought to be Noah Kane getting in right here, huh?
Noah Kane pushes it across the line with a stretched out football. Did a great job, and truly was all over but the crying here. 55-0, going in for a little more. with
Hello,
another great run right here by Trey Holly.
Well, look, he was one of only 2 running backs that were out at spring football. Of course, him and Noah Kane, and he finally got a chance. He can play at 4 games and still redshirt. Everybody on the bench very happy for the true freshman who once again busted all of the rushing records, even superseded Nick Brissett with the rushing total yards as a high school recruit. Gonna redshirt, and him and Caleb Jackson will be 2 of the big running backs next year.
Well, we'll take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We come back, we'll hear from the head coach himself, head coach Brian Kelly, in his press conference from Monday, October 30th. We'll have that and a whole lot more right here on Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Get huge savings all summer long with the Buy Here, Sell Here program at the Team Automotive Group. Sell your vehicle to us and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get Team VIP service at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements, and that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Get yourself summer ready with the award-winning lineup of Hondas at Team Honda. We'll help you find just the right vehicle to hit the road to whatever destination awaits you. Come shop the most awarded brand in Car and Driver's 10 Best history at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Seagan Lane.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche and the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji, here at Old School Barbecue. Come check it out. Great barbecue at Old School prices. Of course, it is Bama week for LSU football. With no further ado, I'll let you guys hear from the head coach himself. Here is Monday's press conference from head coach Brian Kelly right here on Tigers Roar.
All right, good afternoon. Back to playing some football, and certainly an exciting week. Get an opportunity to, test ourselves against an outstanding football team in Alabama, and I think everybody knows that, this is, one of those games that, puts you in a position to challenge for an SEC championship. So we got to go on the road to Tuscaloosa. We've got to raise our level of preparation this week. It's not about rising up to the competition. It's rising to the level of preparation necessary to play an outstanding football team in all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. I think, Coach Saban and his staff Coach Reese should be commended for, what they've been able to accomplish offensively since early in the season, and, obviously committed to Jalen. He's really done a nice job throwing the football. I think a lot of people were questioning his ability to throw it, but he's been effective, efficient, big plays. Certainly, Bond and Burton at the wide receiver position have given them playmakers. They're physical up front. I think they're massive on the offensive line. Williams and McClellan at the running back position. And, of course, their defense has been as good, if not better, than anybody consistently over the last 6 weeks, giving up 21 points or fewer. Turner and Downs and Arnold, there's a number of players. Their defensive line is stout and physical, outstanding in special teams. Shard is one of the best in the country. So, again, we know what we're up against. Outstanding football team on the road, playing at Alabama, and a great challenge and a great opportunity for us at the same time. So we'll practice today and get an opportunity to begin the preparation for an outstanding football team. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
Brian, right in the middle. What did you use last week for? What did you kind of drill down on? And was it a back to fundamentals thing, a rest thing? What did you?
Yeah, I think a little bit of everything. I think we talked about it last week. I think it was important for us to do some self-scouting, some things that we needed to work on. I think it was important that, from a technical standpoint, we continue to grow technically in some areas, on both sides of the ball. And then, you still want to meet a workload, criteria, because, you just can't continue to go through the season, then all of a sudden, put up a stop. So we got to about 70% of our average workload last week, and gave the guys some active rest over the weekend, and then they reported last night, and we're back to work today.
Hey, Brian, could you talk a little bit about your relationship with Tommy Reese? I know you try to get him to come here with you, but then also when you watch Alabama on film, you'd see things that look familiar when you two were at Notre Dame together.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a connection there. He played for me. We've got a deep connection relative to a player-coach relationship, and then a respect for him as a coach and what he's done in this profession at an early age. He's somebody that I have a lot of respect for in what he's done, certainly at Notre Dame, and then in a very short time taking an offense and transforming it quickly during the season. He's a competitor. He always was as a player, and you can see that as a coordinator. His teams are going to be physical. They're going to run the football. They're going to push the ball down the field, and they're going to, more than anything else, they're going to utilize their personnel as he'll mold the offense to fit the personnel. And I think that's what smart coaches do, and he's an outstanding football coach.
Hi, what can you say about the work ethic and the attitude of the players going into one of the toughest games of the season?
Well, they've exhibited a great work ethic. I think any program is built on a standard of work, and look, I mean, this game requires an incredible commitment, and so our players have been committed to that end, and certainly it takes more than just a work ethic. It takes a consistency week in and week out, and I like our mindset. Our team understands that it's more than just coming into work. It's working efficiently, purposely. And I think that they've done that over the past, year and a half, where they've understood that it's not just about working; it's about working purposely.
Hey, Coach. Could you update the availability of Deuce, Denver, and Zai ahead of this weekend? And I guess Ashton Stamps, where he's at with his rehab of injury.
Deuce is not available. Denver's not available. Zai is not available. Ashton Stamps will practice today.
Coach, if you're in the same position that you are last year, will you go for two again?
the exact same position. Yeah, I mean, that's a feel of the game. So it's really hard to answer the question. I felt like the game itself was such that our guys were executing at such a high level that was kind of what prompted that decision. So I think from my perspective, it's really about a gut feeling at the time more so than what's the perfect scenario. And I think the feeling was that we were executing at a high level at that time. It was time to go for it.
Coach, right here. There's a lot of inexperience in the defensive backfield. What have you seen from them during the bye week coming into a big game like this?
Well, they've been around long enough now. I mean, I think you're into the season now, 8 games. They had some time here in camp and some. We had some mid-year enrollment. So, to say that they're inexperienced, yes, they haven't played a lot of SEC games, but they know what they're doing. They understand our techniques. They know what's expected of them. We're in a position where we feel comfortable and confident that they can go out and get the job done. Even though they don't have a lot of SEC games underneath their belt, they're quite capable of going out there and playing at a high level. So I'd say more than anything else, you have to have confidence in your players and their ability to do it. And I've got confidence that, whether it's Jeremiah Hughes or Javen Toviano, Ashton Stamps, all 3 of those freshmen can go out and play at the level necessary for us to win a championship.
Coach, is it harder these days than win at all costs and pressure to win to stick to your long-term vision of a program and the guys and the standard that you want to live up to, as opposed to the short-term gain of maybe playing somebody to help you win a game?
Well, it's never been a problem for me because I have a vision for our program, and the vision includes more than just winning. It includes developing excellence both on and off the field, and so we're certainly not there yet. We have to continue to grow relative to the identity of our football team. So I know I'm hired and fired on wins and losses, but I've never really worried about that. This is the 5th program I've taken over, and I've always built the program based upon excellence in the classroom and on the football field. And then that process has usually taken care of itself, and it's equaled success. So the question is a good question, but I don't think I've ever looked at it that way. And it helps when you have a 10-year contract, too. And so, again, that's not been my motivation in any way or shape, fashion. It's been much more about, developing a championship program in all of those facets, first and foremost.
And that was head coach Brian Kelly, part 1 of his press conference. We'll get you part 2 after this break. But Budman, you heard BK talking about not sacrificing, the long-term vision for a program for a win-now mentality. Definitely trying to, ensue a excellence in the classroom and on the field mindset to this team. He's taken over, Budman, the last 2 seasons, has absolutely raised the standard off the field for these Tigers. 10 wins last year, beat Bama at home in overtime, win the SEC West. So the pedigree has always been there. Then he had some early success. You kind of have to believe that his system is working in Baton Rouge, and these guys have to get on board.
Well, look, Jacques asked him an excellent question about are you going to maybe put culture on the back burner for a week or 2 to play these cornerbacks, and he said absolutely not. That's not the way he does it. Character is just as important, if not more so, for Brian Kelly in recruiting. And speaking of that, got a big 5-star offensive lineman that decommitted from Texas A&M, committed to LSU. He's from Beaumont and have possible flips on a cornerback, safety, as well as a wide receiver. Look, if they win this game, folks, now all of a sudden LSU can take advantage. A&M is still kind of a dumpster fire. Big ones this weekend. Missouri, only one loss to LSU at Georgia. LSU at Bama. Last time we'll have to hear Gary Danielson.
I knew you were going to bring it up.
With Brad Nessler and of course, the CBS crew with the love affair with Nick Saban. And, folks, you just have to throw it out there. If there's a very controversial officiating call that can go either way, you got the break in 19.
Right.
I don't think you'll get it this year. So make sure you're ahead with the football late in the fourth quarter. Oh, by the way, we mentioned it last week. Only one penalty for Alabama against Tennessee. I don't see how any way that could happen again. But they did have 100 yards of penalties last year. That was in Tiger Stadium. And Eli Ricks gave them 3 15-yarders.
Yep.
He is gone. Secondary is going to get tested. But as we know, JP, got to run the football, got to stop the run, got to win the turnover battle. You do 2 of those 3 things, got a great chance to win.
Another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We come back and hear a little bit more from Brian Kelly, his press conference from yesterday, Monday, as we tape here on October 31st. Happy Halloween. Hope you come back and join us right here on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
It's time to go where summer leads you during the season of discovery at Team Mazda. Transcend ordinary in the Mazda CX-5 or experience the next level of luxury in the all-new Mazda CX-90. Come by today and discover Mazda at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Hey, welcome back to Tigers Roar, talking LSU football, traveling to T-Town, if it's even T-Town this year, bud, man. Tuscaloosa, Alabama will face the Crimson Tide, 6:45 CBS. where I talked about Nestler and Danielson, possibly for the last time, Bud, man. What a dynasty. They
on the LSU-Alabama game, this will be it.
Right.
And he's going to be pro-Alabama, so either mute it or get your earplugs or get ready. But, boy, I tell you what, JP, on the outside it looks pretty obvious. LSU's going to have to outscore Alabama. Alabama's going to try to establish a run. The front line on the D-line without Wingo. Linebackers have been playing very well, but I ask you this question before we go to it. Do you think they unleash Harold Perkins in this game and let him get after Jalen Milroe? And will he play the role of a spy like he did last year?
I think you have no choice, Bud, man, but to unleash Harold Perkins and get as much pressure on the quarterback as possible. That's the only thing that's really going to help this secondary, Bud, man, is to limit the window that Milroe has to sit back there and pick apart that secondary. Have to get pressure, absolutely. And, yes, keep him as a spot because Milroe can absolutely hurt you with his legs. Also throwing the ball around the yard, but is a true running quarterback. Even though BK didn't want to give him the moniker of a running quarterback, Milroe can hurt you with his legs. Going to have Harold Perkins in the box, spying him, and getting pressure on that quarterback.
And Milroe throws a very good deep ball. Yep. LSU's been susceptible to some deep throws. So, I think that, the year when Durante Jones took over the play calling for Coach O, remember they blitzed? Alabama didn't know what hit them.
Right.
LSU needs to change it up a little bit with the defense, be a little bit more aggressive. But you want to limit the time he has to throw the football. That helps your secondary.
Yeah, here is part 2 of Brian Kelly's press conference from yesterday, the 30th of October. He'll talk about his quarterback, Jaden Daniels, his progression, how LSU will face this Alabama team with a depleted secondary, that and a whole lot more. Here is head coach Brian Kelly right here on Tigers Roar.
Hey, Coach, you complimented the Alabama offense with the way that they've sort of adapted from the beginning of the year to now. What have you seen specifically with Jalen Milroe and the way that he's adjusted from the opener to now?
I think at first, there was this sense that he was just going to run all over the place, right? This is going to be a running quarterback, but he's not. I mean, he'll run and he can go from 0 to 60 as well as anybody. And he is a threat to run. There's no doubt about that. But he's going to stand in the pocket. He's going to throw the football. And the way they create offense is through a balance of running the football, formationing you so you can get some shots down the field. And he throws the ball well. I mean, he throws the ball well. And he can hit the open targets. He can push the ball down the field. And so I think what he's done really well is when he's been given the opportunity to take shots down the field, he's hooked up. He hasn't missed receivers. When they've created the opportunities, he's come through for him. And I think that's been impressive.
2, if I can. Your offense has clearly established what it's capable of. How much is this week about them not trying to be something they're not or trying to do something they're not because the game is obviously elevated? And then secondly, in the post-game video against Army, I think they gave you a game ball or something. You said something to the effect that, you're really enjoying your time here. This is maybe your most enjoyable time. I was just curious why. You alluded to the development of players. Is it because of kind of the development that you've seen this team from week 1 to kind of pull through?
Yeah, I think the offense clearly recognizes their ability to be explosive, but have balance on offense and defense. So there's no reason for them not to be anything but who they are. And so I think that there's a confidence level that, if they prepare the right way, if they stick to their process, that they're going to have success. And so I think that's been their mindset, is just practice and put in the preparation the right way, and things will take care of themselves. What I was alluding to is essentially that this is a young group of players. We traveled 21 freshmen again this weekend. We had a slew of transfers come in on defense, and it was really a new group that we had to kind of on board, if you will, in the second season. And so just the development of the football team has been enjoyable. Watching the growth of the football team. They've done everything we've asked them to do. They have done the little things, and it's been hard. It's not been easy. You know, there was a difficult loss to start the season. There was a very disappointing loss on the road, but they haven't backed down at all, and that's been enjoyable as a coach.
Coach, right here in the middle, are there any other injuries to report, particularly maybe Makai Wingo?
Yes, Makai had surgery. He is out for the season.
Out for the season.
Yes.
So.
Well, I would say this: the projections are 6 weeks, so we'll see where that where that goes.
Right. Okay. And so on the D line, who you're looking to fill that void, and how does his absence on the D line sort of affect that group?
Next man up, we'll rely on the rotation that you saw pretty much against Army. It'll be a similar rotation.
Coach, do you ever have time or an interest maybe in the off season to look at the history of the history of the rivalry, LSU Alabama, or a series, or jump into that kind of history at all? Even though it might not even be important.
No. Mike updates me. Mike is my local historian. He will, and as you know, he carries history very well because he's been here so damn long. He fills me in. How many years has it been? Since we played Alabama. No, that you've been here. 30. He's been here 30 years, so he is a resident historian. So no, I think Mike does a great job of filling me in on a lot of the history. Of all of the games and during the year I learn about Mississippi State, the Auburn games, this Alabama game. And for me, it's exciting, right? Because I get immersed in, some of the great games and the great rivalries and the great names that have been part of this game. So I love it. I think it's exciting. And for me, because, I had been in the Midwest for most of my career, I catch just kind of, the highlighted games. And so to get filled in on some of the other ones has been really fun.
I was wondering if ever, like after you finished the game at Notre Dame and got home, if you ever happened to catch any of an LSU Alabama game over the years.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, I love watching college football, so it certainly would have been a game that I would have watched. I remember some of those slugfests when it was 10-3, 10-7, some of those tight games. Great defense on both sides of the ball, fighting for every inch. Just some classic games, and really enjoyed watching them.
Coach, when Coach Saban speaks, he talks about the process and not outcomes, and I think you say a lot of the same things since you've gotten here. How much do you maybe see some similarities in terms of organization and your viewpoint on things? And do you observe other successful head coaches, read up on them, take notes to help yourself?
Yeah, I think most head coaches that have been in this business, clearly understand that, the process of what you do and how you do it is probably, most important, to the day-to-day. And we've been in it a long time, both of us. And so we have developed what our process is individually through our years of experience, sometimes good and bad. So he has shaped what his process is and how that has been so effective for him. And likewise, I've shaped the process that I use on a day-to-day basis based upon my experience. So I think you'll find that in many ways, coaches, focus in on a process instead of outcomes because it's so important to develop that with your team.
That was head coach Brian Kelly, his weekly press conference leading up to the Alabama game this Saturday in Tuscaloosa. But, man, you heard the last question was about Nick Saban, kind of comparing Nick Saban to Brian Kelly. They both talk about, outcomes, not as important as the process. They both preach it. It's day in, day out. The little things matter. which is really a perfect segue, Budman, because we want to show you guys the head coach from Alabama Crimson Tide, Nick Saban, and his comments he had on LSU leading up to this Saturday. Here is head coach Nick Saban.
I wanted them to enjoy their time off, but I also wanted them to be focused and ready to go and all in when we get back, because, you know, LSU is a really, really good team. They're probably one of the best teams in the country right now. I know they are the best team in the country on offense. We're going to need an excellent attention to detail, focus, good technical preparation in the game, so that, you know, everybody plays responsibility football, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. You know, I think this has developed into sort of a, you know, rivalry game, because they're always ranked, we're always ranked. It's always a big game relative to, you know, what happens in our division. So it's an important game for, you know, both teams. I think Brian Kelly has done a phenomenal job, you know, bringing this team along, the improvement that they made, the kind of team they had a year ago, as well as, you know, even a better team that they have, you know, this year, in terms of what they've been able to accomplish and what they've been able to do. And I think it starts with their offense. They're the #1 offensive team in the country. And, you know, it starts with the quarterback, Jaden Daniels. I mean, this guy's a phenomenal player. He's a dual threat player. He's a great passer. He makes lots of plays with his feet. He's fast. Not only can scramble to run, but can scramble to throw. You know, they've got a really good running back in Logan Diggs. They got a good tight end in Mason Taylor. You know, Neighbors and Brian Thomas are really, really good receivers, but they have also other good skill guys to go with them. Their offensive line is big and physical, and they're able to create great balance on offense. So it's going to be very challenging for us to be able to, you know, play the kind of disciplined football that you need to be able to play and not make mistakes, tackle well in the game, and be physical and try to win on the line of scrimmage, which is going to be challenging. Defensively, you know, they are good players. They're a good front seven. They're big. They're physical. And, you know, they play well together, you know, as a team. I think that, you know, sometimes they've had some struggles in the secondary, some guys injured and different things like that. But they also make a lot of big plays. They can rush. They affect the quarterback. And they can cover. So this is going to be a challenge game for us from that standpoint too. And these guys have a lot of good athletes and a lot of really good team speed, so that makes them really good on special teams. They have good specialists. So this is a really, really good team all the way around.
Start up front here with
And that was head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Nick Saban, of course, you know, former LSU football coach, talking good things about the LSU offense, including that quarterback, Jaden Daniels. He knows it's going to be a tough task, but man.
You know, Nick said many times he should have never left LSU when he did, but he had that itch for the Miami Dolphins and the NFL. Of course, little did we know he'd come back and win all of these natties. Look, Nick's birthday today, I think he's 73. Of course, Brian Kelly just had his birthday a few days ago. Last week, and he turned 62. But the biggest difference, not just the age differential, are the rings. And Nick has 7, and Brian Kelly is yet to win a natty. JP, I got to ask you before we go to break and we come back and talk some Saints highlights, but do you think that Brian Kelly, who does not have a history in great games against top 10, does he have them ready? You know Bama's going to blitz. You know you're going to have to throw the football quick. You know you're going to have to stop the run. You know that Jaden Daniels, if you get him comfortable, there's some offense. How's this thing? Is this a barn burner, or does Alabama once again get ahead and then just dominate LSU running the football?
Truly, Budman, I do think this year is different for the Tigers just because that offense is so explosive. I mean, truly a juggernaut. Starting with that offensive line, the 2 bookends, outstanding tackles, a room full of outstanding running backs, the wide receivers on the outside, and the catalyst, Jaden Daniels. If he has a good game, Budman, it's going to be impossible to keep him from New York, from that Heisman Trophy celebration ceremony, whatever you want to call it. I think the offense can score on them, Bud, man. This is not the same Alabama's team that you've seen, year in and year out dominate the SEC West. This game will decide who will face Georgia in that SEC championship. It's all right there in front of LSU. Jaden Daniels, he won't say it, but I know he wants a shot at that Heisman. He's played outstanding all year, hasn't got his propers, in my opinion. His numbers are way better than all the other quarterbacks, so he has to come out, show why he's number one in the league, why this offense is number one in the league, and really impose their will on a very talented defense for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So you're asking me, I do think it's going to be a barn burner. The last team with the ball is going to score to win. Hopefully it doesn't go into overtime. I don't think LSU fans could really take that much pressure to go back in Tuscaloosa to overtime and all the build up. So I think it's going to be back and forth, but man, a shootout.
By the way, Alabama's offensive line has given up 35 sacks this year so far, so LSU hopefully put some pressure. They don't have the gaudy stats. Jaden Daniels, 25 touchdown passes and only 3 INTs, another handful with rushing touchdowns. Nick Saban, I guarantee you, he's going to tell those guys, don't let him get outside. They are fearful of Jaden Daniels running with the football, but get rid of it quick. I don't know if you saw Joe Burrow against the 49ers. Dink and dunk, get rid of it quick. Bama's going to be putting pressure. Big game for the tackles. Emory Jones is slated to be back after injury. Lance Hurd, of course, played while he was going, and Will Campbell. Those guys have to have big games, rushing those edge rushers, blocking those edge rushers from Bama.
6:45, Tuscaloosa on CBS. We'll take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll talk some NFL, some New Orleans Saints right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
If you're in the market for a full-size pickup that's packed with power, fun to drive, and loaded with features, then get ready to make memories driving the new Toyota Tundra. Come see the truck that's made for adventure at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
we appreciate you joining us for the last segment here on Tigers Roar. Don't forget, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It is now time to talk some NFL, specifically New Orleans Saints, Budman. 4-4 after the offense finally showed up against the Colts. Put up 38 points, got the win 38-27. Derek Carr played well. Taysom Hill played well. Alvin Kamara looked like himself. Michael Thomas is back in the fold. So the defense also showed up and kind of, held their own. Did give up a lot of rushing yards, but Demario Davis is nursing an injury. The Honey Badgers nursing an injury. So some guys banged up, some guys sick over the week in New Orleans. But the Saints end up getting it done against a talented Colts team that's also fighting for their life. But man, Saints now 4-4. The Colts, they fall to 3-5.
Michael Thomas, big part of the offense, but Rashid was the man. As everybody knows, he had 3 catches for over 150 yards. Taysom Hill, JP, you and I talked about this during the game. Got to get him an opportunity to affect the game, at least 20 plays a game.
Taysom Hill had 9 rushes, 63 yards, had 2 touchdowns on the ground, also threw a long pass for 44 yards in a controversial play. You'll see it later on in this highlight to Rashid Shaheed, who had an outstanding game. You mentioned 153 yards and a touchdown on 3 catches, Bud, man.
No doubt about it. And, of course, the 3rd consecutive game over 400 yards. Let's give some props to Pete Carmichael and his play calling.
Absolutely. It has been improved, vastly improved. And Taysom Hill, when he gets down to the red zone, he needs to be the quarterback. Derek Carr's, his struggles are they're not greatly exaggerated, but man, the guy has trouble scoring in the red zone, and Taysom Hill seems to get it done. What would the Saints done without Taysom Hill for the last 5 years?
And he's got a nose for the goal line, as you see right here. This is a big man, folks. People don't realize he's about 232 pounds, and he's not easy to bring down.
Michael Thomas had 4 catches for 68 yards. Carl Granderson, who's had a pretty good season for the Saints, 1 sack, had 3 tackles. Here's the long ball to Shaheed. But, man, he was in stride. That was a great ball from Derek Carr.
Love watching him. He's an excellent returner as well, and he's only going to get better. In fact, he's turning into the guy that a lot of us, including myself, thought Chris Olave would be in year 2 from Ohio State.
Yeah, Lou Headley had a great punt right here, so we showed it. He struggled this season for the Saints. He had the lowest hang time in the league, but that was a great job right there, down by the Saints. Really set up the defense in a great spot right here.
No doubt about it. And, of course, as everybody knows, the coach, Anthony Richardson, the kid that played at Florida, was the rookie starter. He got hurt, so they have been having quarterback by committee as well.
Yep, Gardner Minshew was the quarterback on Sunday for the Colts. You also got Jonathan Taylor back for the Colts and Zach Moss, who both very productive running backs in the NFL. Here's a great play by Paulson Adebo. Kept his eyes on the quarterback. It was a horrible throw, but Adebo, 29, read it well and had a good return right here, bud, man.
Really did. Adebo was all over, and boy, what the LSU fans wouldn't give to have Adebo and Lattimore at cornerback for LSU.
Kamara had a great game as well, Bud, man. Receiving and rushing. Of course, he leads all running backs in receptions on the season. Derek Carr loves to dump it down, Bud, man. So hey, don't hold on to the ball. Can't take sacks. Keep dumping it down to Kamara. Get him the ball.
LSU, Alabama. Let's see if LSU can pull the magic late again. I like Mason Taylor to have a few more targets. And as always, happy Halloween, everybody.
Certainly appreciate you tuning into this episode of Tigers Roar. For our Florida director, Marty, for the Bud Man, for Jonathan Poche, me, for Alan in the truck, and Katie also helping out today. Certainly appreciate the effort. Certainly appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. All the shows we do here on Pelican Sports TV are archived right there for you. So click the like, the notification, and the follow button when you get there. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. We appreciate you watching Tigers Roar.